What's going on, y'all? Michael here today with another video, and I'm going to give you my top 5 breakout candidates for the Chicago Bears. Before we do that, I honestly would like to tell you to take a moment of your time, take 15 seconds of your time. Just hit that sub button, leave a like. Or else I'm gonna have my Paul Heyman CG bully pull up with his mall cop more vehicle, and he's gonna taser you if you don't hit that subscribe button and you don't hit that like button. So let's get to today's video of my top 5 breakout candidates for the Chicago Bears. So training camp is more than 2 weeks, I think it is. So I'm going to give y'all my top 5 breakout candidates for the Chicago Bears while predicting their stats. So number 5 is Darnell Mooney. Now, he is one of the most wide receivers that has not been talked about over the media, but has over the Bears media. If you guys are not familiar with Darnell Mooney, he's the guy who embarrassed the fuck out of Jalen Ramsey and is looking to have a breakout season. But the question is, does the quarterback have enough firepower? Because if y'all remember, Darnell Mooney was a victim of bad quarterback play by Nick Foles, where Darnell Mooney was open a lot of times, but Nick Foles overshot the ball where it was coming. So Darnell Mooney was a 5th round pick that we traded up to, I think we traded down or traded up to get to. So looking back at it, Darnell Mooney, is predicted, depending how the quarterback is, to have a superstar season. Darnell Mooney is not being talked about. He's being most slept on. I think he's the most underrated receiver in the NFL, if not. He does have potential to be a top 10 wide receiver of all time. Talent-wise is there. He could be your deep threat down the middle. He can pretty much be your deep threat if you ever need to trust him. He'll always catch that. If you guys don't know, Darnell Mooney only had 1 drop the entire season, and he's been improving ever since. Ever since, he was drafted, all the gyms were closed due to the pandemic, that he got his own little football machine so he can start practicing. So my stat prediction for Darnell Mooney will be 6 touchdowns. I highly doubt he'll break the 1,000 yards unless Justin Fields shows promise. But if I had to make a guess, his yards will be around the 600, 500 mark with 6 touchdowns. My next breakout candidate is probably someone that Bears fans are likely going to turn on, but hear me out for just a second. So, let's just get to Anthony Miller. Alright, I know everyone's going to come in the comment section, be Michael, why are you putting this guy in your top 5? Look, Miller has shown he had some stretches where he did show that the first 3 games, he had those game-winning touchdowns. Has he fallen off? Yes. Miller has fallen off because he's proven that he can't take the deep shot route. But if you guys don't know Miller, well, the thing is with Miller, because I've seen it out through his rookie season, that if you don't force him the ball, he tends to be inconsistent. So the question is, Anthony Miller is just those wide receivers that they can be clutch where you need them the most, which he has shown this season countless times. But you can't trust him most of the time because he can be inconsistent. But in moments where you need him, he is pretty much your go-to guy in those types of situations. Now, my status prediction for Anthony Miller will be 4 touchdowns, 300 yards. So that's a pretty reasonable prediction for stat-wise. Number 3 is tight end out of Notre Dame, Cole Kmet. Now, Cole Kmet was slowly starting to get in the role of the Chicago Bears. You know, we had the veteran Jimmy Graham started off until the end of the season when Cole Kmet showed some promise. If you guys haven't seen Cole Kmet's Instagram, I suggest you go check it out. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. But if you go see his workout, you might see that you might want to assume that he's on steroids, and he's looking like he's gonna have a quote-unquote breakout season, depending how the quarterback is. Because if you guys don't know Cole Kmet, he did not have he didn't have a bad season, but I would say his rookie season was pretty decent to me. He did show some promise. He had some blocking moments when, he's pretty useful in the run game. Blocking. And in those, trick plays where Trubisky goes to his tight end, Cole Kmet. So, Cole Kmet's prediction status will be 5 touchdowns, 500 yards. My second player on this list is Jalen Johnson, the cornerback from Utah. So if you guys don't know who that is, he forced the most incompletions out of a rookie cornerback this season. So you guys don't know Jalen Johnson. Well, now you're going to do that while you do, because if you guys don't know him, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with this season. He forced the most incompletions. He has dropped a few interceptions here and there, and he looks like he might take the CB1 spot now that we don't have Kyle Fuller anymore. However, it's going to take time for Jalen Johnson to develop. Because, he has shown some promise where he can be cold-blooded. If you all saw that hit on Alan Lazar, if you all saw that deflection pass on the, I think it was DJ Moore that he hit. He was locked up. He locked up Mike Evans. He locked up I think it was Michael Thomas or Irvin Smith. I don't know. But the bottom line is, Jalen Johnson looks like he's going to have a breakout season on the defense. My staff prediction for him will be about 15 forced incompletions. I'm going to say 5 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and that's about it for Jalen Johnson. Now, number 1 is a person that people have been slandering on, Fizz Vegas included, and that is David Montgomery. You guys have seen David Montgomery. His rookie season showed a lot of promise. and the 4-game stretch last season where he really showed that he was in the top 5 conversation with Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, and a couple other running backs were in there. So David Montgomery played with a poor offensive line, but now we added a few pieces in that offensive line. Tevin Jenkins. Maybe we sign Mitchell Schwarzenegger because he's still a free agent, but we still have potential that we can have a pretty good O-line in the near future. But David Montgomery with a perfect offensive line, he might be elite. He was pretty average with a poor offensive line, but the question is, can he be elite with a perfect offensive line around him? I think so. So, my prediction for David Montgomery is going to be over 10 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards. Yes, you heard it right here. 1,000 yards. So that's my top 5 That's my top 5 breakout candidates. Leave your top 5 breakout candidates down in the description. As always, bear down.